As a pre-service teacher, developing my educational philosophy is foundational for guiding my future pedagogical practices. Hi, I'm Ms. Shoesmith, and in my classroom, these are my core values for my educational philosophy. I will actively teach the whole student by recognizing that their lived experiences, emotional needs, and identities are essential to how they learn. My classroom will be a place where all students feel that they belong, regardless of their race, gender, sexuality, socioeconomic status, ability, or religion. I will actively challenge stereotypes and the way that social and structural inequalities affect student experiences. An educational philosopher who's contributed to my philosophy is Nell Noddings. Her view on education is heavily centered around care ethics, believing that care is a fundamental aspect of education. She makes a strong distinction between caring about and caring for someone, distinguishing that caring for someone is relational and an active process. Noddings believes that care should be relational, requiring a cared and cared for, and argues that educators truly caring for their students would improve the teaching and learning process. This is how she influences the first part of my educational philosophy. I'll promote inclusion by providing my students with multiple ways for them to demonstrate their understanding. Providing choice allows them to utilize their lived experiences and select the task that best reflects their strengths. This communicates that all student backgrounds and methods of understanding are valued in the classroom. This aligns with APST Standard 1.1, which asks educators to demonstrate knowledge and understanding of physical, social, and intellectual development and characteristics of students and how this may affect learning. Noddings famously asserts that the student is infinitely more important than the subject matter, showing that educators should be prioritizing students' well-being. Noddings' ethics of care strongly aligns with the Alice Springs Declaration's commitment to equity. Did you know? A 2022 study showed that only 72% of Indigenous students were able to complete high school, compared to 84% of non-Indigenous students comparatively. The Alice Springs Declaration influences the second part of my educational philosophy. It strives to improve educational outcomes for all young people, asserting that targeted support can help learners such as those from low socioeconomic backgrounds, those from regional, rural, and remote areas, migrants and refugees, learners in and out of home care, homeless young people, and children with disability to reach their potential. Bell Hooks argues that education shouldn't just transmit knowledge, but must be transgressive, actively recognizing and challenging how gender, class, and race influence education. This is how she influences the third part of my educational philosophy. Did you know? A study from 2023 found that students from rural, remote, and regional areas performed worse on their NAPLAN due to their social demographic and school climate. Hooks believes in an engaged pedagogy, where educators can create a holistic learning environment that is relational and teaches the whole person. She advocates for shared power in treating students as active participants, ultimately wanting to foster inclusive learning spaces. When teaching biology, I can promote inclusion in my classroom through the representation of scientists that are women and people of colour. This diverse representation can help break stereotypes of who belongs in science. This aligns with APST Standard 1.3, which asks educators to demonstrate knowledge of teaching strategies that are responsive to the learning strengths and needs of students from diverse linguistic, cultural, religious, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Ultimately, I believe that all students should feel that they're supported and valued in their classroom and that they belong. I will authentically build the relationships to support them and teach them effectively. and commit to challenging the barriers and stereotypes they face. That is my educational philosophy.